Alrighty. Hey, Jed Wonderly here with the Utah Sports Report. That's what I'm calling it this week. Hey, at least I got a name this week. If you don't like it, or if you can think of something better, please feel free to share your ideas down below. I know a buddy of mine that I spoke with, Rod. If you're watching this, I can't remember what you said. Something with running and Utes in it, but it wasn't running Utes. So type your ideas and suggestions down below. I might run with that. See what I did there? Okay, no game this coming week. It's a bye week, and boy, is it needed more than ever. Actually, Coach Witt was a bit prophetic in his post-game press conference. I'm Jed Wonderly, by the way. Also, this is sponsored by Noble Home Loans. I'm the principal lending manager for Noble Home Loans here in Utah. And if you have any questions about mortgages, want to see about a refinance, or looking to purchase a home, or get into in real estate investing, feel free to give me a call, 702-812-1214. I'd be happy to help you out in any way I can, and hopefully with a mortgage, but happy to help any way I can. And so, onward and upward. So I was saying Coach Witt was a bit prophetic when in his post-game press conference on Saturday, he said, this is coming, the bye week is coming at a perfect time. He said it's about halfway through the start of fall camp and the end of the season. And he said that, there's got some players that are a little banged up, had a few during the game. We had 3 safeties that were injured during the game and couldn't come back. We really need those because we were playing with our last 2 safeties. Mekhi Bernard's a little banged up. That's part of the reason why he fumbled the ball a couple of times, is because he has an upper body injury, and either he's not able to secure the ball the way he's supposed to, or maybe when he gets hit, it causes a little extra pain and coughs it up that way. I don't know, but they say it is affecting his ability to hang on to the ball. So between that and then the events that happened on Saturday night, they really needed a break this week. And for those of you who are maybe living under a rock, how do you have YouTube anyway if you're living under a rock? But in case you haven't heard, Aaron Lowe, who is one of Ty Jordan's best friends and the recipient of the Ty Jordan Memorial Scholarship, the first recipient, and wearing number 22, Ty Jordan's number, in honor of Ty Jordan, was killed on Saturday night. Apparently, he and a bunch of other football players were at a party, private party, in Sugar House, and some people were there, showed up, and they were asked to leave. They were told it was a private party. They left, came back with some friends, not good friends, and one of them ended up shooting and killing Aaron Lowe, and shooting his girlfriend too, and I think she's gonna make it, but not a good thing. I hope justice is served on that idiot that did that. Yeah, I don't want to get into it any more than that, other than I'm on a forum for Utah sports in general, mostly focuses football and then basketball a second. But a lot of talk is more about not the wins and losses of this year, but just supporting the team because of all they've been through. I mean, they've lost 2 teammates, one by accident with Ty Jordan, having that accidental gunshot that killed him on last Christmas, and now Aaron Lowe, 9 months later, being murdered. So that's a really tough thing. I don't know how I would deal with it if I were in that situation. And they've really got a lot to process emotionally and mentally. And of course, they always have a lot to process physically because football's a very, punishing game that way. So, kind of the consensus on those forums were to not be too focused on the wins and losses, and to be more just supportive and know that these kids are going through some very tough times. Now, that said, I also heard that one of the guys who was on the forums, he said he went to the vigil I didn't know there was a vigil, or I would have gone, darn it. But at any rate, he said that he went to the vigil and he was very impressed at all the players that spoke. He said that they are focused more than ever. Now they can say that, but I don't even know if they know, how that's going to impact them. Hopefully they are focused, and hopefully they can really, just step up their game, and they are playing this season in honor. They're dedicating it to both now, not only Ty Jordan, but also Aaron Lowe. And hopefully they can really focus and do what they need to do, come out and play harder than ever, and be able to maybe run the table or win enough games that they get into a really good bowl game, or maybe win the South Division and play for the Pac-12 championship again, but hopefully this time win it, not 3 strikes and you're out kind of a thing. At any rate, the players were all, hey, we want to do this for them. And they also need to want to do it for themselves as well. But it's, again, I don't think anybody knows really how, obviously you never know the outcome of a game anyway. But when things like that are weighing on your mind and your emotions, it's really another unknown that's far beyond what is normal. So my heart's with them. I support them all the way. I hope they can have a good season. I hope they can all come together and create an experience for them and for the fans, but for them that is very memorable in a good way, and that they can make something really good out of 2 really tragic incidences. Now, because there is no game this coming week, we'll leave our discussions about USC until next week. But let's talk a little bit about some of the standout players against Washington State, some of, what went wrong, fumbles, and just chat about that a little bit. And feel free to please like and subscribe. That would be great. And also share this with any other Utah fans or sports fans in general. And feel free to share some of your thoughts. If you agree with what I'm saying, great. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, what are you doing watching this? Just kidding. Gotcha. No, if you disagree, be polite, but tell me why. Give me your thoughts. I'm interested to hear them all. So let's start with the defense. Wow, Karenni Reed, that dude's a freshman. He had an amazing game. 15 tackles. I think 1 tackle, maybe 2 tackles for a loss, and a sack and an interception. And the interception was pretty athletic. It was good. This guy looks bigger than he is. He's listed at 6 feet, 225 pounds, which is actually 3 pounds less than Nephi Sewell, who isn't the biggest linebacker at 6 feet, 228 pounds. Nonetheless, he played big. He played solid. He was always around the ball. 15 tackles. He was Pac-12 Defensive Freshman of the Week. Go Karenni. I'm impressed. I'm a fan. His linebacker mate won Defensive Player of the Week in the conference. Devin Lloyd, man, that dude is amazing. Now, if you just looked at stats, he had eight tackles. You'd be like, why didn't Karenni win Defensive Player of the Week? Well, first of all, because he won Freshman of the Week. Maybe you can't win both of those in the Pac-12. I don't know. But Devin had 7 hurries. I think that's what it was. He had 7 hurries. He had, let me see if I can pull that up really quickly. Yeah. I'm going to pull this up, get all their PFF ratings and whatnot. So let's go to Devin Lloyd. Yeah, he had 8 tackles, 7 pressures, 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 1 interception. His rating was 91.9 PFF rating. Reed's was 76.2, which is really solid. 91.9 is off the charts. I mean, he had an amazing interception. He had, with those 7 pressures, he only had 1 sack, but those pressures led to a lot of sacks by his other defensive mates. Like Reed, I think, got his 1 sack because of what Lloyd did. And I'm pretty sure that at least one of Van Fillinger's sacks, by the way, great game for him. I think this, his rating was the highest of the defensive ends at 64.4. So not a great rating, but okay. And I think that he's going to have a great career. I'm a fan. I also think, okay, that was weird. I don't know what happened. My phone just stopped recording. Apparently it doesn't like my show. Hopefully you guys do, and hopefully you guys will actually like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also I would love to get your guys' thoughts and ideas and everything. Feel free to disagree with me. Feel free to agree and embellish or whatever. Love to hear your thoughts, and as long as they're polite and whatnot. But anyway, we were talking about the linebackers and whatnot. Then we got into the offense. Offensive line improved a little bit, but Washington State's defensive line isn't the best. They do have a couple of good defensive ends that can put on some pressure, but our left tackles are not doing that well, and they both need to start performing better. I think they're both more capable of it, especially Kump. I think Kump is capable of a lot better, but they've got to step up their game. I think Rising, once he gets a little more experience under his belt, once he gets more of a rhythm, and I think a key thing is that his receivers need more time to run their routes, because right now he's not getting a lot of time in the pocket because of the offensive line. So with more time from the receivers to run their routes, and part of that's not all the offensive line, part of that's on the running backs, because the running backs need to pick up the blitzes, and or somebody who breaks through, a defensive lineman, whatever. But we really need to do a better job up front for Rising and for the receivers, and including the tight ends and such, so that they can run their routes and he can give them the ball where they're supposed to get the ball. I think once that happens, and I'm not sure if it'll happen against USC or not, but we'll talk more about that later next week maybe. But I think our passing game will definitely start to see some good improvement. Now on the running side of things, 3 fumbles. We had one with Chris Curry going into the end zone. Took 7 points off the board for us. We had another one with Jaquindon Jackson. I hope I'm saying that right. Looks like that's how it should be said, but if I'm not, if anybody knows, feel free to correct me down in the comments. Spell it like it should be said, phonetically. But he fumbled it at the 8-yard line, and both turnovers. Unfortunately, we didn't recover either of those. And then Mekhi Bernard, who's dealing with an injury that is kind of playing a part in his fumbling. He fumbled, I think it was right around midfield, give or take. But at any rate, we had 3 costly fumbles. We also missed an easy field goal. High 20s or low 30-yard distance for the field goal. Redding was so good last year. And this year he's missed 2 extra points. Hadn't missed an extra point until this year. He's already missed 2. I think he's 4 for 7 on field goals this year. 4, maybe 5 for 7, which is not a great percentage. So he's not doing well. I think it's going to be a wide open competition between him and Noyes during this Noyes, or however you pronounce his name, during this bye week and in through next week. So it'll be interesting to see who our kicker is that week. I tell you what, Noyes can kick it off amazingly. He was kicking it, I think he kicked it out of the end zone on the fly, in the air, every time last week. He had one that actually hit the crossbar. They kept calling it the upright. The uprights are the ones that go this way. The crossbar is this one. That's the one he hit. At any rate, that guy's got a leg if he can be accurate. Whew, wow. So, I got to give it to TJ Pledger. TJ really stepped up. He's a perfect example of somebody who didn't start the game, and hadn't played a whole lot. Hadn't played a whole lot in the first 3 games. Played a little bit here and there. But when his number was called and he needed to step up, he did, and he did in a big way. He had 10 carries for 117 yards, if I remember correctly. Let me just double check that. Pledger. 10 rushing attempts, 117 yards. That's 11.7 yards a carry, and he had 1 TD. I recall him also picking up a guy on a blitz to give Rising a little bit more time too, which is incredibly important and a big role that running backs play in a lot of offenses, and especially in our offense as well. So good for TJ Pledger. Seems like a really good young man from the interview that I saw, the post-game interview, and good for him. I think we have 4 good running backs, and I'd like to see them all contribute. I'd like to see them all hang on to the ball. Overall, we left 17 points on the field that we really need to convert on those against teams that we aren't going to be able to hold to 13 points. USC scored 27 points against Oregon State. I'm surprised they didn't score more, but we scored 24 points against Washington State, and if we if that's all we score and we leave a whole bunch of points, on the field, then we're probably not gonna. I gotta stop saying my bad. No need to mention that in the comments, because I got it. I hear it. We will lose that game if we leave points like that on the field, and a lot of that due to fumbles. So we've really got to cut down on the fumbles. We'll talk about all that stuff next week, and appreciate you watching. Thumbs up for me if you like it, or if you're just compassionate. And like I say, subscribe. Feel free to comment. Love to hear your thoughts on it. And we'll catch you next week. Take care. Have a good one.